Thank you.
I'm going to leave you to Elie. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Great to meet you. And
afternoon.
I've finished watching your movie. It's quite, it has quite an impact.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What brought you to the script to begin with? I know that you wrote some of it in partnership. How did it come across your desk?
So first I did some short films about classical music and classical dance.
Yeah.
And just after my cinema school, I co-directed a documentary about an orchestra of young people. And among the musicians there was a Ukrainian violinist who told me how she arrived from Ukraine to Switzerland just before the beginning of Euromaidan. And the way she was telling me this story moved me a lot on how the event suddenly occupied the whole space of her life.
Oh, yeah.
And also even her practice of violin. So it was for me a way to talk about exile first, but also to question how you can reconcile your very strong passion for a practice with the course of history and with other things going around.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You mix sport and politics, which can be a bit touchy at times. Was that a challenge?
Actually, it's not about someone who realized that there is a political event far away from where she is. It's someone who realized that politics is everywhere.
Yeah.
And that it touches also the layer of gymnastics. And of course, sports is also political. So the challenge was more how someone so passionate about gymnastics can suddenly be little by little eaten by the event, eaten by this layer of her life. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I think that the movie Olga is being released in conjunction with the UN Women Australia's Ukraine appeal. That's important and very good that we can do something like that.
For me, it's of course very important, and I'm very grateful about the way that the release is done in Australia. Because since 1 year, our purpose with the movie is, of course, to raise some fund and to bring the attention of people on what's going on the war, and on the fact that there are still many things to be done by us outside of Ukraine, by giving fund, by helping the migrants coming from Ukraine. So since 1 year, the film is pretty much a way to sensibilize people and raise funds. Yeah.
What's the film industry like over there? Do you have to like get things approved, or can you make movies about any subject?
Do you mean in Ukraine or do you mean in Switzerland?
Yeah, well, the Ukraine, do they stop you from anything over there making movies?
Actually, they gave us the fund from. Actually, we passed the sort of national center of cinema thing, and suddenly they cut the fund from what we were supposed to receive. And I think it's because at that time there was a politics of giving an advantage to national productions. So we did without the money that Ukraine promised. So of course, for producers, it was maybe weird, because it never happens in Switzerland or France. But for me, the most important part was that the movie was made with Ukrainian people, from the writing process to the mixing process, and that we were not going to make a movie about a Ukrainian subject without the people concerned. So there was a lot of historians, sociologists, journalists, militantists, who were part of the process from the beginning to the end.
Wow, that's a lot of people all helping. That's great that it made, and the movie has turned into a great film. Like I was really riveted by some of the scenes, and I think a lot of that has to do with Anastasiia. That's how did you cast her? Did you know her before picking her to play Olga?
I knew that I had to work with gymnasts because they have the experience of what it is to be in a center, to train so long for so many hours per week, or to be in an arena in front of so many thousands people, you know. So I knew I had to work with real gymnasts, and Anastasiia was just part of the Ukrainian center. So I went. It's a bit the same for the Swiss gymnasts because we shot in the National Center of Switzerland, in the Olympic Center of Switzerland. Part of the team in the movie is really the team of Switzerland. The coach was the coach at that time. So we did pretty much the same with the casting in Ukraine. And Anastasiia was here. And for me, it was very obvious that she had the intensity that was important for this character. And what was important for me also is that she was not going to do what I want. She was going to confront me. She was going to answer me, to propose many things else than what I have in mind. And for me, it's really important as a director, as a gay director, as a white director, as a cisgender director, that I'm working with people that confront my point of view and not let me be, dominating my subject and my movie. So with Anastasiia, it was pretty much this approach, and I'm very proud of it because she brings the character way really more far away than what I'm capable to write for her. So
wow, that's a big compliment. She definitely caught my attention, and some of the scenes that she has with her mum, because it's really in the background a mother and daughter story as well, and I was crying in certain parts. So their acting and Anastasiia was brilliant. I hope she has a long career.
Yes, she's in Switzerland since 1 year. She moved in Switzerland after the beginning of the invasion, and now she's doing pretty much what she does in the film is that she's giving classes for young people in gymnastics, in circus, in some sports stuff. And the way is going to be long for her, but she's organizing little by little her life here, and we try to help as much as we can.
You mixed a lot of the editing was good. You've mixed some scenes that was news footage and real footage with your fictional story. That was also the transition of that was very well done. You had a lot of good people working with you, I guess, on the film.
Yes, for the choice of sorry, there are some crazy dogs all around here. Maybe you hear them.
That's okay. We have some weird things down under as well.
Okay. I think they're gonna calm down. They're going away from each other. Yes, the images was a long process, but it was also quite natural because those images from the revolution, they are first on YouTube. They are very accessible. After we asked the filmmakers from those images, the militantists who did those images during the event, we contact them, each of them, to ask if we could use it, and we paid some rights, etc. But first, those images are very much on internet, and we had to make choices in order that we respect the chronology, the logic of the event. Sure. But we had also to realize how much it's the weirdest images of the movie. it's not really, it's real archives, but it doesn't make what we see real. In what I mean is that it's full of pixels, it's full of movements. It's those images, they are not here to do as if we were here with the protesters in the event. It's more to mark how much we are absent from it, how much we are far away from the reality over there. And just what we have are a bunch of pixels and movements. So yeah, and also we had to realize all the I'm so sorry, there is a huge train.
That's okay. I can't hear it, so I'm okay on this end.
Okay, I'm sorry about this.
That's all right.
I had no internet at home, so I had to go outside. I'm very sorry. But yeah, we had also to realize how much there are some correspondence, some relationship between gymnastics and those images. For example, in terms of sound, it's it's very close actually. It's metal bars, it's detonations, and it was allowing to create a relationship that after seeing the first images, Olga cannot come back to the trainings without to still have inside her ears the revolution going on by the training itself, you know. So we could really install a relationship from very different realities.
No, you mentioned the sound. The music was also very good. You had like limited use of music, but when you used it, it made a really good dramatic effect. You didn't overuse the soundtrack. I thought that was important as well, because it didn't divert your thinking of what was going on.
Yeah, the music is Pierre Desprats' work. It's a composer I'm working with since a long time.
That's good.
And it's really a friend, and the approach was to be a link between all this sound atmosphere between Ukraine and gymnastics, and also the inside of the body of Olga, something that pulses very close to the sensations. And so we used an instrument called the viol de gambe. It's some kind of cello, and we used it by putting microphones pretty much everywhere, and trying to know what it does to just touch it this way or slap it or things like that, and also to create some Larsen inside the cello. You know, the Larsen when the microphone is close to the speaker, and it creates some kind of shouts. So we tried all our best to make this cello some kind of body that we could explore as the intensity that Olga has also.
Yeah, it worked. I really think it worked. I liked it. And that's interesting about the cello. A couple more questions before we finish up. The car crash at the start. Now, we're allowed to say spoilers. Hopefully people have watched the film, but the car crash at the start looked like a very hard thing to film. Was it inside a studio? How did that, was it practical effects?
It was actually on a road that we just closed for the shooting in Ukraine. It was shot, we had two different cars with two different systems for turning and etc. And it was actually the funniest and the easiest thing to film from the movie, because when you film such a scene, it has a big cost for the producers, and they are getting anxious, etc. So they ask you to prepare much the scene, and it's scenes which are extremely precise in terms of editing and pre-editing. And you have also a bigger team than when you film gymnastics, for example, or than when you film, you know, in an apartment or the Christmas scene. You don't have such a team, so everybody knows very well what they have to do, and so as a director, you're suddenly very concentrated on the actor's play, and not by image or by other stuff that you would be concerned in other scenes, because here there is so many people dealing with it, on something that you prepared for months before.
Yeah.
So it's actually so fun to do some scenes like this. That in my next movie there will be a lot of scenes like that.
Okay, well, I'm happy it's fun for you, but on screen it was scary. It was a very troubling scene, and you did well. Okay, so finally,
it was supposed to be terrifying.
Oh, it was terrifying, definitely. Why did you become a director? Why did you become a filmmaker? Were you a little kid that had a camera when you were young?
Yes, exactly. I had a little camera because I wanted to do some films since when I'm 6 years old, something like this. And I think it was just a way to compose from music and photography and different medium. And I thought that it was some kind of synthesis of many things. And also, I think I remember my first feelings in a cinema room, being, watching a film together with other people in a huge black box. It's things that I will never forget. I remember Shrek, Matrix, many, wide audience films. And after, of course, I had many feelings watching Tarkovsky and Bergman, but my filmography is also made of very wide audience films that I had so many feelings watching them, So,
well, the Matrix was filmed in Sydney, so there you go.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's a wonderful film.
Yeah, Sydney and LA, but it is a wonderful film. Yeah,
wow,
great movie. Well, I want to say thank you for your time. Olga is a terrific movie. I hope the awareness of what's going on is very apparent watching this, plus if people can help as well. I applaud you on that. And Sabrina, let me mention Sabrina was very good in the movie too. I liked her role.
Thank you very much. And again, I hope that the film can encourage people to conscientize what's going on and what's still going on. We are getting tired of the images of Ukraine, but there is a reality behind the images, and which is still going on and still tragically going on. And so I encourage people to give as much as they can to help on the situation now.
Well said, and congratulations. Great to meet you. Hope to see you in Australia one day, right?
Yeah, with pleasure. Thanks to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shane.